Welcome back, YouTube family. We're going to start today's craft with these 4 pumpkins that you could purchase at the Dollar Tree, plus the Dollar Tree burlap, oak, and maple leaves. Then you're going to need an 8-pack of these snowman ornaments. We're going to start by removing the bows off of the pumpkins, and we are going to go in with it's an 80 grit sandpaper, and I attempted to sand off the letters so I wouldn't have to apply so many coats of paint, but as you can tell on the black, all it did was smear the paint around. So I go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and I paint the white pumpkins with 2 coats of that, and then I go in with the Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin and paint the orange pumpkins with that, also using 2 coats. When that's all done, I take 2 of the snowmen out, and what I'm going to use these for is the head and the chest area of our turkeys because we are turning 2 of the pumpkins, 1 white and 1 orange pumpkin, into turkeys. So we're just going to draw a line to match the heads, and I'm giving them each a different head shape. An ovaled out one for the tall pumpkins, the tall orange pumpkins, and a rounded head for the short white pumpkins. And then I'm going to go in with a box cutter and just run it along where I drew my lines to get the shape. And then I do go in with some sandpaper and smooth out my edges. Then I go in with the Waverly chalk paint and plaster again, and I give those a good coat of that. Once the pumpkins are dry with both coats, I go in with the Waverly wax paint and a wipe. This one was the baby wipe. And I just go over and give it more of like a rustic look. Darken it up, not so bold. And then I go in this time with a dampened cloth, and I apply the Antique Waverly wax with that. Don't forget, if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. So once those are done, I go in with Jim Holt's Distress Oxide in the color of Walnut Stain, and I have the little applicators that I purchased with those. And I go around the edges to distress them. But whenever that was done, I thought the inside parts of the pumpkin needed a little distressing, so I just lightly ran over the insides with my applicator, and as you can see, it kind of dulls down that bright white and gives it more of a rustic look. Now when I put my turkey bodies on my pumpkins that are going to be turkeys, I realized that the shorter turkey is the same color as the pumpkin and didn't stand out, so I went in with Waverly chalk paint in the color truffle and I painted that brown. Then I go in and I draw my turkey face, and with my Sharpie paint pens, I'm sorry guys, I go in and I paint on the eyeballs, and then with the Waverly chalk paint and pumpkin, I paint the beaks, and then I use the Waverly chalk paint in crimson, and I paint on the turkey's wattle. Then I use my black Sharpie to paint the eyes and the little nostrils on the beak. I had so much fun putting these turkeys together. And don't forget, if you guys like what you see here, hit that subscribe button, and when the bell appears, you can choose to be notified every time I upload a video. For those of you who don't know, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and I love to be the hostess for Thanksgiving. It's a lot of work, but I have so many wonderful memories tied to Thanksgiving, which makes it my favorite holiday. So what's your favorite holiday? And do you guys decorate for Thanksgiving, or do you just go from Halloween straight to Christmas? Let me know in the description box below. So once I have all of the faces painted on, I just hot glue the turkey bodies to the center of the pumpkins. Then I take the Dollar Tree burlap, maple, and oak leaves, and I figure out how I'm going to arrange them. Then I lay them down and I just pull that wire right off the back, just as easy as I showed you there. And then I start hot gluing them together. Now originally I was going to keep the leaves as the tail feathers kind of up high, but I felt like it wasn't enough. It looked too plain and not really put together. So I went with 3 large maple leaves in the back of, and then 2 small green ones. And then I just hot glued those on, and then I do the same with the oak leaves and the smaller pumpkin. Then I go on with the wider popsicle sticks, but not like the tongue depressor popsicle sticks. And I cut a slanted sign and a tag with my miter shears. And then I go in with the Waverly Cashew chalk paint and I write "gobble gobble" and "eat ham." I was looking for cute, funny phrases, and these are the 2 I came up with. What would you guys have put on the sign and the tag? Let me know in the comment section below. Then I go in with the bows that we had pulled off in the beginning, because as crafters, we throw nothing away. And I figure out how I want to position the tags and bows at the top and just give them a bit of hot glue, and down they go. Once they're all glued down, we're going to set our turkeys aside, and we're going to get the other 2 pumpkins. Then I take my Cricut premium vinyl and I cut out a give thanks of the brown vinyl. I have a Cricut Air Explorer 2. It's an oldie but a goodie. Works like a charm, and I just love having my Cricut. I use it all the time. So now I'm going to pull off the outer layer. When you do thin words, sometimes it can get a little tricky with getting the excess vinyl off. And since this isn't a permanent vinyl, it is a temporary vinyl. I always have a little bit of difficulty pulling the excess vinyl off. Then I go in with my transfer vinyl. I believe that was the Cricut or the Duck from like Duct Tape brand of transfer vinyl, and I put on the thanks, and then I position the give right above it, and then I arrange my pumpkins so that they will stagger and stand on their own. Now, many years ago, I made these leaf doilies that I used to set under candy jars and in the center of the table for the centerpiece. And I don't use them anymore, so I took those apart, pulled off some of the leaves, and then because I had glued them to pipe cleaners, it was pretty easy to just hot glue those down to the bottom of the pumpkins. This is why crafters don't throw anything away, because I think I made these before I had my daughter, and she's going to be 12 next month. So that's how long I've had these. It's not hoarding if you use them, guys. And then I glue them down to the bottom to make it look like these pumpkins were sitting in a pile of leaves. Now, I did play around with the placement on the orange pumpkin with leaves and the bows, but it ends up just taking away from seeing that that's a pumpkin. So I went without a bow there, and I just put a bow on the Give Thanks pumpkin. And here they are displayed for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, give this video a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button, and when the bell appears, choose to be notified every time I upload a video. Have a wonderful day.